guys, welcome back to Sabers Forever. I'm John, and today we're going to be going over the KR Scavenger again. But this time, it's got the Master chassis in it. So without further ado, why don't we just jump right in and I'll show you exactly what's going on. Alright, so this is the KR Sabers Rey Scavenger. This is weathered by Multiverse props. All this in here and the rust is all hand painted, and as you saw in the beginning of the video, I have 4 of these and they are all identical. Multiverse props is a true professional and master of their craft, because there's like in here, like it almost looks like there's sand just stuck in there. It's so well done. I can't even, I wouldn't even say I would try. Like, he just does such a good job. It's worth waiting the extra time for the order. The wrap is beautiful. It's tight. And even the emitter, like, is hand painted, which just looks gorgeous. So, yeah, if you ordered one of these weathered, you will not be disappointed. This is the Goth Master chassis inside this Saber. So to gain access, you would just pull off the pommel, and then the chassis actually slides out. And this is on a track system. So the tracks are actually these 2 screws right here at the bottom. So if it binds up at all, it's going to happen at the bottom of the Saber, which is good news for everyone because you'll actually be able to see what's getting held up. Nothing in here to grab any component to the Saber. The kill switch is here, so you'll just flip it to the right, and that'll give
Keep telling me they know me.
give you
I'm afraid no one does.
access to the power. Nipple, so positive on the top side, and you can actually see here is the soundboard, but you can see positive, negative on the battery. So that's really nice. And then these windows open up here so you can actually see the crystal. And then there's a button here, which is your activation. This is a single button Saber, so this will actually handle everything for you. And you have the motor up here. So there's neopixels in the emitter, there's the motor, and then accent LEDs down here that light up the whole top section of this chassis with the 6-pin rotary connector by Shtok Custom Worx. That connects on the inside to connect to Shtok's NPXL V3, which is in here, and there's 1 button. Now, something to be said about this switch section is that the switch section is tied to this leaf mechanism at the top. So it's beautiful, and usually with beauty, you forego function. So it is not the best functioning switch. It is undisputably true. Sad to say, but it does still work as intended. So you just need to use it a certain way. So this chassis can go in the track system any way, either way you want to put it in, doesn't matter. And the bottom just goes on and then locks in place. To turn the Saber on, you actually have gestures.
That lightsaber was Luke's final step.
You have gestures. So you can turn it on just by twisting, and you can turn it off by twisting. But to turn it on with the switch, you just have to flick it. And that is basically all you have to do in order to use the button. You cannot just push it because it gets hung up on the button. So now it's going to probably want to go to... Yep.
Are you a Jedi?
Battery
Final steps. Final steps.
So as you can see, it went into font selection mode, which is if you hold the button for 2 or 3 seconds while the blade is off, it'll activate font selection, which then you can select by twisting the Saber. And then also just for controls, I'm not going to go over them heavily in this video, but I am sending all of these with the Proffieboard FET263 button commands for the single switch Sabers. That way, you'll know what you're doing when you get the saber. But yeah, as you can see, it actually flashes blue, green, and then yellow. So you do get that awesome feature. It's hard to see in the video, but it is there. And then you have a bunch of fonts, which you can hold you can actually just hold the power for 1 second and release.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
And if you hold it upside down and do that,
Final steps.
it'll go backwards in fonts. So there's multiple ways to change fonts. There is a way to start and play music. You can literally do everything that 2 buttons can do, but you're going to be using it with this mechanism. So just be aware of that. The Saber does not have deep sleep mode, but after 15 minutes, the Saber will no longer detect gestures to turn the Saber on, and the lights will turn off until you physically push the activation button to turn it on, just to save power. So, and then to remove the battery, I find it's easiest to just push from the back, and you can get it out that way. I didn't turn the Saber off with the kill switch, which is fine. Sabers don't always come with a kill switch, but this is the best method of making sure that your battery stays fully charged. So that being said, just keep that in mind. No deep sleep, but you do have an immediate way to turn it off and on. If the Saber were to ever get stuck, like, you can rotate it in here, and maybe you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Well, the aluminum rods here, the aluminum tube actually acts as a guide for the track system, and it doesn't matter which way the chassis goes into the Saber. It can go this way, or it can go this way. So it's really up to you. And then the pommel just slides on, and the J-lock system makes it real easy for the Saber to be closed and opened. Alright, so one other thing that I think I need to go over is the blade retention screw. So you'll notice that these, when this is closed, that these screws here line up with this screw. So you have 3 screws. This is the only part on the Saber that, like, it's the only time that it ever happens. So if you find these 3 screws while it's closed, this screw is your blade retention screw. So in order to get your blade in, first of all, there's a blade plug in here. So I recommend doing this with the Saber off. But there is the blade plug. And you're going to loosen this. And your blade plug is going to dump out. Am I doing this on the right one? I am. Alright. There it is. So give it a little shake if it doesn't just drop out right away. And then you're going to put your blade in. Doesn't matter which way, but just be really careful with the pedals. You know, you don't want to rush this because they're so delicate. And once it's seated all the way down, which you can see it down here, just tighten this so that it's sufficiently tight. You don't want your blade flying out, and you want to make sure that this is nice and snug. And then that is now an installed blade. Now, the Saber's off right now, but you'll notice also that it restricts the switch section. So just keep that in mind. You won't be able to close it, obviously, with the blade in. So that is, you're going to have to obviously remember which one it was. Now, was it this one? Yep. This comes right out. This can go right back in. And if anybody was wondering, for the orientation, let's see if I can do this on camera. For the orientation of the blade plug, I'm going to use this as a tool. You can actually see that there are the fingers inside here. Well, the track system should line up in between the fingers. So there's a dot in the emitter in the middle of the fingers, which you can see right there. And you want to line up the fins in the blade plug with that hole. So I hope that helps. Close this up if you're not sure which screw it was. And it's this one. You're just going to do this all slowly, and you can really tell this is definitely a display piece. There's really nothing quick about this, but you're just going to want to make sure that, you know, it's nice and safe with everything that you're doing. So that does it for this. Let's wrap this video up. Alright guys, that does it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this featuring amazing lightsabers by amazing designers. I really hope that you did enjoy this, so please like and subscribe. And if you yourself are looking for any kind of work to get like a lightsaber installed, please reach out to me at john@sabersforever.com, and I'll be sure to get back to you to let you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. On a side note, I'd really like to thank everyone that jumped on the initial Thrawn Hunter and Rey Scavenger Master Chassis pre-order list. I know you guys waited a while for these, and I hope that you are more than satisfied with the end result. So, again, thank you so much for all of your support, your time, and your trust. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. And as always, may the Force be with you.